We are experiencing our own reality from within. Let me repeat that one more time. You didn't hear it wrong. You are experiencing your reality from within. Let me explain. So, our conscious is the only truly reality, and what we experience, what we see from the external is first generated from within. What you're conscious of is what the reality that you experience in right now at this current moment. We never got taught this in school, so we are actually been fighting our own reflection. The external world is the reflection of our inner world because we never get taught growing up or in school, so that's why keep fighting the mirror instead of fixing our self within. So I want to share a few examples with you that from what I experienced personally, and then give you a tip at the end that you can start using. But a good example that I recently experienced is, as we know, our news, our television is telling us a lot of negative news, is trying to give us a vision of fear-based fear reality, fearmonger, and want us to think negatively. So last year, 2025, in the summer, in the middle of 2025, in California, many people are fear of ICE, especially the Latinos, Hispanics in Southern California. Everybody is glued to the television, and we see a lot of videos on social media as well. ICE going to, let's say, Home Depot, supermarket to quote unquote catch people. So I saw that on social. I hear people mention it, but honestly, I did not see it with my own reality in front of me. Why that is because, first of all, I don't believe the TV, the news is reporting the truth. I am conscious, aware of that. So that did not get into my system. I didn't fear of that. And that doesn't mean that I am, because due to I'm not Latino or Hispanic, but because I just don't buy into it. I just don't feed into the matrix program. I don't feed into that narrative. Okay, so that's why it's not showing up on my reality in front of me. Okay, last summer I did pretty much go everywhere in LA County. So that's the majority of the Hispanic lives, Latino lives, Long Beach, right? What happened was I do see a lot of Latino, Hispanic group are very afraid that they might get deported. So they collected, create that reality together. I do see in the external world, the physical reality, I do see people start having a lot of dogs. I'm not talking about pets, but the type of dog that is basically to attack, to protect the home. I do see many large car, let's say trucks or larger vehicle to block the entrance of the homes. Okay, that's all based on fear. That's all based on what they heard from the news, and then they build up this fear, this negative energy and vibration among their own group. They collectively manifest this reality into their reality that they don't even realize. So from me, understand that I stepped back and I didn't I didn't see any ICE agent in the supermarket. I didn't see any people that really get deported from my reality, from my timeline. So that's one example. But if you're watching this, you might tell me, you're not Hispanic, you're not Latino, so of course you don't experience that. So let me give you a second example that applied to me, okay, applied to my community. So as we know, there's a lot of new laws, new regulations towards my own community. All right. And my own people in my own community, my friends, they are the same as what I described earlier with Latinos. They are very afraid their passport might be taken away. They're afraid that their ID might be taken away. And many people are saying that they're going to leave the country and all that. See, all these are fear based. They are trapped in the fear, vibration, and frequency. And that's what show up in their reality. From my own experience, same thing, same as the previous example, I do not experience that at all. I am still living the way I live. It doesn't affect me at all. Okay. And just this past weekend, I went out to dinner with a friend, which is from my community. She also very spiritual individual, and she's very consciousness minded, mindfulness person. Same thing. She actually went through some sort of passport experience. All right. So when she went to getting her passport done, she did not experience what everyone experienced. She did not experience what the news is saying. She did not experience the collective consciousness that the community project into the field, into the reality screen. She actually got what she needs, and she actually got what she wants with her passport, with her paperwork. We create our own reality, no matter what the external world that you experience, no matter what other people are saying, no matter what other people are experiencing or they try to project on you, you can reject it. You can change it. You can shift it, or you can erase it from within. Okay? Quantum physics proves that. And the double slip experience, just to give you guys a context, double split experience proves that when there's nobody observe, it have multiple possibilities. It can go either way. Okay? But when someone's observing, then it collapses into one possibility. So if you apply that into our day-to-day life, it's just aligned with what I just said. Our reality is infinite possibility. There's different timelines that we can shift to, we can experience if you want to. How you collapse into that, whatever particular reality that you experience right now at this moment, is what you selected. Many people select it unconsciously because what I said in the beginning, that we never get taught or never get trained how you can do this, or even have a knowledge of that's how this game works, how this simulation reality that we are in works. We're just fighting our reflection, our mirror. But if you understand this concept, if you understand this quantum physics of observer effect, then you will understand, you know, how to adjust it. So here's a little practice you can practice today. We get bombarded with all information, all the news, all the experiences from different people, from the news, from the media, from the family, from television, from movies, right? Or even music. You have to stay conscious, aware, okay? If you're experiencing something that does not align with you or you don't like it, ask yourself this question. Is this coming from you, or is this projecting from somebody else, or projecting from the TV that you consume the day before or months before, or it can be years before too? So ask yourself, where is this came from? Because it has to come from somewhere. Because everything is energy, so you tap into that particular frequency, particular energy in the quantum field. So that's why you experience what you experience at this moment in time. So when you raise questions, when you ask questions, then you will be able to really think, where does that come from? If it's not from you, then you can change it. You can erase it. You can reprogram your subconscious mind. If depending on what you experience, it might not take just one reflection or awareness to be able to change it or to shift. It might take a while, but at least you're catching up. Because if your conscious is elsewhere and then you experience what you experience and you complain about it, you feed in more into it, and you're not even aware that this is maybe not your reality, not your projection that you are experiencing, then you will feed into that negativity loop and you feed into that reality that you don't want to experience. You're going to create more and more. And over time, it'll become yours. All right? So the elites, the media actually, or the politician actually knew about this already. So we need to stay in present and to be conscious to catch these moments to ask questions. When you ask questions, then you can analyze, determine where this come from. And then the next step is to shift, change, to tell yourself, that's not my reality. I don't want to experience that. That is not what I want to experience. I am not that. Okay, just speak it out loud. Or you can internally tell yourself, that's not me. That's not my reality. I am experiencing abundance. I'm experiencing peace. Okay? So practice that. The next time you're experiencing something that is out of your alignment and or you don't want to experience that reality anymore, ask questions. Your inner talk, what you consume, will always change your reality that you experience. So let me explain the word that you used: present tense, future tense, past tense. It will affect the difference in how you experience the reality that you experience. And one of the audience that listen to my show, I had a conversation with him, and he is asking me about a lot of different things. And I started noticing something. I noticed the words that he's using, the language, how he speaks and think. It's actually affecting his reality, like I mentioned, but he's not aware. So he's saying that he has problem to stay in the present moment. So I'm just going to use this episode to answer his concern. I'm going to read the message to you guys, okay? We were talking about winning a lotto. He asked me, do I think rich people is out evil? And my first question answer back to him is, what makes you think, who gives you this idea? What makes you think rich people is evil? Why? How? Where that idea came from? This is a lot of the time that we're not consciously aware of a lot of beliefs, ideas, and just like this statement, rich people is evil. And I can imagine that this idea maybe came from the mainstream media, because there are a lot of rules that it's bombard us with fears and telling us rich people are evil, they do bad things in order to get a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. One thing I want to say is 99% of the people that have a desire and they want to be wealthy, they want to have financial freedom,
So you want to be rich at a certain level, right? So if a person, or let's say if I have this mindset, rich people are evil. And at the same time, I want to be wealthy. I want to be financial freedom. I want to have that. And but there's part of my thinking is rich people are evil. So let me ask you, do you think my desire, my want will come, will show up in my reality? Or will I project this type of reality for me to experience? The answer is no. I contradict myself. And this is what happened to many of us, many of our society is the elites. They know this will happen to us through our mind. It's one of the type of the psyop, right? So they put on the show, the movies, and even embody into our education system for us to stay poor, to have a poor mindset, to have these thinking generates a frequency and vibration, and that will keep us trapped in this third dimension. And at the same time, our experience in this earth will be very difficult, very struggle, very hard. And at the same time, the elites, because of these entities, they feed on fears, they feed on negativities. So we are giving our energy to them. It's like a vampire. It's like energies. Vampires suck everything out of us. And that's why we feel tired. That's why we feel we have sickness, we have disease. At the same time, our food also contribute to that as well. So what we consume, what we watch, what we eat, what's our diet, it's all connected. And if we're not consciously aware of that, then we're feeling the negative energy. We're feeling the reptilians, the evils, the demonic, right? And so this person is asking me to make him to be more in the present moment. So this is why he messaged me. I'll be more worried about being young and rich than being old and rich. You see that? You hear that? I'll be more worried about being young and rich than being old and rich. Okay, so just one sentence, as you can see, the wording is very negative, very low frequency and vibration. I'm not try to put anybody down, but I just have to speak the fact, bring out the facts, so so the person can realize, oh my God, so they can have the conscious to aware of what's going on, what's the self-talk, what's the thinking that beliefs that you have. I'll be more worried. Worried. Why you have to be more worried? Who told you to be worried? Why you have to be worried? You don't have to be worried. And about being young and rich than be older and rich. Why first of all, I don't know how old this person is, but what's your concept of old? Okay, why do you think you're old? Is it because you feel and you don't have much energy, you're feeling you have disease? All these questions you have to ask yourself. And when you ask yourself, then you will slowly bring yourself to the present moment, because our mind, our conscious, you have two conscious. Our subconscious is the recording. It record everything, every thought you thought, and then projecting out to your experience. And in that sense, subconscious is act in a background behind the scene automatically. So your conscious, if your conscious is not here, right now, at the present moment, your conscious either in the past or in the future, right? So if you're worried about something and you think you're old, your conscious most likely is in the past. Somehow, somewhere, you might have experienced a trauma, you might have consumed or embodied some beliefs from somebody, or maybe education from someone, somewhere, right? So that's why you have to believe that you worry about being old and rich. You don't have to. Shift your conscious back to the present moment. There's nothing to worry at this moment, at this right now, right? Right now, at this time. Nothing to worry. Okay? And again, all you have to really, only you can answer this question. Why makes you think yourself old? Is it because you're the number, the age? The age is just a number. Literally, okay? How you think, how you feel, and how your conscious is at is more important than a number of your age. Okay? So next, he said, I try to embrace the struggle to make a living. If I won a lottery, I have to find a way to challenge myself. I will make sure I exercise after I get tired of being comfortable. So you see here, to embrace the struggle to make a living. I can see where that comes from. Maybe you experience some difficult living situation right now, financial situation right now. I've been there many times. As a matter of fact, I experienced that these past 2 3 years. And it's not, I'm not feeling ashamed to talk about it because I'm self-aware and I have a consciously knowing what's going on, and I see my own pattern. I know this is a life lesson. For me to take myself to the next level, I have to gone through certain challenges. And these challenges are expand my strength, expand my spirituality, right? When you try to do anything, when you use that word try, you're not having your full strength at the moment right now. Why you have to trying is not very consistent with your desire. If you want something, you should just do it. Why you need to try? Why you need to think about it? Why there's I can sense there's a fear, there's fear of failure, there's discomfort, so you don't want to go full force. You just want to try. Does it make sense? So again, back to your conscious, bring your conscious back to the present moment, and there's no harm. There's nothing to be fearing about, and and you said to embrace the struggle. I know everyone has gone through the struggle, and again, these struggles are life lessons. Remember that. If you see those challenges, struggles, difficulty as a lesson, for you to go to the next level, then the struggle, we call it struggle, the challenge will be as greater as we thought. Okay, everything is from the thought, and then the thought generates a feeling, and that's why you feel the struggle to make a living. But if you switch that thought, you switch the feelings, then your action will change. And when your action change, the result change. So law of cause and effect. So the cause is how you think, what your thought is, because based on what you message me, I can sense your thought frequency is at very low vibration. That might be from your past trauma and you're unconsciously living in the past tense in your mind. Okay? And so it seems like you have a desire to win a lottery. And you say, if I won a lottery, if is a term of uncertainty. You see how the contradiction here? Because we hate uncertainty. And I'm sure you feel everything around you is uncertain. That's why you use the word if. If you change the if, the whole frequency, the vibration change, you have to bring yourself back to the present moment. So you have to change the if to the present tense. There's no more if, no uncertainty. You want to be for sure. I'm winning the lottery right now. I am. Okay, no past tense, no future tense. It's right now. I am winning the lottery. I'm not trying for you to having a delusional in a sense, but a assumption, because assumption creates a image, okay? Because when we assume, we have that image that will generate a feeling. Your feeling state will change. Okay, just like when we watch a movie, television, or sometimes reading a novel, any type of book, we generate a feelings, even though these shows, these TV movies and books are not real, but we have that feeling already, right? Because we create this assumption for these characters or these scenes in the movie drive you to have certain feelings, and you felt it, you react to it, right? And all these are fake. It's not real. So why don't we use that same concept into our reality and just assume, use the law of assumption and tell yourself, and you don't have to find ways to challenge yourself. Why you want to challenge yourself? When you win a lotto, you should feel abundance. Why you should be happy? Why do you have to feel challenged? I don't understand. So you see how I bring your conscious back to your present moment. That's why I bring your word for word onto you, so your conscious can be aware that you're now living in the subconscious as an autopilot throughout your life. So it's very contradictory, very contradictory. So here's one I'm going to share with you and everybody else. When you catch yourself of these negative thoughts, negative inner self-talks, when you realize that the power dissolve, or when you have the opposite is when your ego wants you to stay in character. If you realize that, if you're aware of that, if you're conscious knowing that, then all these will not bother you anymore. The reason being is because you're aware of it. When you are consciously aware of it, again, your feeling change. When your feeling change, you take different type of actions. When you take different type of actions, your result will show your experience in the reality, in this material, this third dimension reality will be different. When you notice all these negative activities, these low vibrations, thoughts, inner self-talks, right?
Most people believe to see it is to believe it. To believe it is to see it. What if I tell you it's opposite of all that? Let me explain. So in the world of AI, there's so many videos that we came across every day is made by AI, and many people are not aware of this is like a matrix programming, a program that lead us to believe everything that we see. If it's out of our belief, out of our context, they will right away categorize it's made by AI or it's not real. But what if I tell you maybe those videos are the one that's actually real, right? Especially these days after Epstein file release, a lot of things in there. Some seems so unreal. Some are just okay. We predict that. We know that already, right? How do you determine what's real and what's not these days? And remember, our world is not solid. It's not matter as we know it, and our reality is actually a hologram simulated by our own perception. Everyone has different perceptions, and that is stacking by our past experience, our past traumas, and also our ego identities. These are layers of how we grow up and how we're being taught. And the older we are, quote unquote, by age, the harder or more challenge for us to change that mindset or to twist our beliefs around. In a spiritual aspect, what you want to manifest is actually opposite. We tend to want to change the external world, but what we need to focus on is actually internal world, because what we see in the external is generated internally first. And so many people ask that they want to see the proof because of the beliefs that we've been told, and we never been taught, like spirituality and consciousness, quantum physics, quantum mechanics. We never get taught on these. So these are the information that's put out into the field, and many people can understand, can accept it. And that's okay, because there's nothing true, there's nothing false in this reality, because like I mentioned, everything is perspective. What you perceive is what you generate in your own little reality, which means there's no true or real. What's true is our own perception is the truth. And if we go back to talking about manifestation, and I see this pattern with many of us, including myself, I do see this pattern that conflicts of our own desire, because let's say, for example, the society taught us we have to go to school, we have to get good grade in order to get a good job. And we have that mindset built in within our subconscious. And when we did accomplish in this way, then we tend to think we're not enough. We tend to think we're not worth of anything. And that is conflict our desire. Or let me give you another example. People might want love, might want to be in a good relationship, that's including myself. But however, most people think, oh, all the good men or all the good women are all taken. There's nothing, no one is for me. I'm getting too old. I think I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. So this belief is embodied into many of us, including myself, okay, before. But our desire is actually opposite. Do you see here? So we tend to conflict our manifestation and our desire. And this is like the subconscious versus conscious, right? So subconscious is local, is what, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, is what we believed and what we've been experienced and what we have been taught, the knowledge, the information that we have, and what the society culture that reflects to the information that we observe into our subconscious mind. But our desire, we want to have good relationship. We want to be with somebody. We want to be wealthy, be rich, right? We want to travel anywhere. We want freedom. We don't want to be tied down. So that's our desire. But our subconscious will categorize that as danger, and or have a little voice telling you, this is not right, this is not good, don't do it. You're going to fail, right? Because it's not registered with your subconscious. But your conscious, you have the awareness of, oh, other people doing well, especially on internet, right? People doing well, people going here and there, and you want those things, right? That's your conscious response. That's your awareness. However, when we have these conflicts within ourselves, we will never manifest, because our internal is projecting our reality external. It's like a mirror. So we are not able to change what we see on the mirror unless we change ourselves. And to change ourselves, that means change our inner self. And our inner self is been programmed, like I mentioned. And that's why we have to really change our mindset. And by doing that, we have to expand our consciousness. When we expand our consciousness, then we are able to reprogram our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is very stubborn, and we also have ego attachment, ego identity, because in our society, we have identity for our family. We have identity when we go to work, and we have self identity, and all these identity is what we attach to. And again, many times our desire is nothing to do with any of these identity that we attach to. So first thing first, we have to detach the identity that we attach to, and detach the emotion that we cling onto. And of course, again, like I said, our subconscious, our ego will fight to survive. And that's what our subconscious mind is built for, to survive. Anything that's not in the program, it will try to kick it out, or not, or it will not accept it. Just like I put out certain videos, it's very out there. It's a divine message that I received, because after I expand my consciousness, I'm able to aware, I am able to see from different angle, different perspective, and I get intuitions, I get intuitive message from the quantum fields. And if you're not tuned into that field, or tuned into that frequency and vibrate in that field, then what I said, or the message that pops on this video pops on your feed, you will not be able to observe, you won't be able to understand. Your ego, your subconscious will try to fight for it, fight for your attention, and telling you this is nonsense, this is stupid, right? But if you are on this path, and you will agree, you will see, you have already experienced what I experienced, so you will know when we open our mind, open, all the time, every time I say open-minded, that's another word of you can open your portal, right? Our mind is a gateway, okay? It's a portal. So when you do meditation, when you bring your conscious back to the present moment and nurture your conscious, and to reprogram your subconscious, you open that gateway. Okay, in quantum physics, there's a quantum entanglement. It's two particles separate in distance, no matter how far. It can be next door, or it can be a galaxy, lifetime, different timeline away. One particle reacts, the other one will get the same. So this is what I'm talking about. Conscious and subconscious. So conscious, when you have the new information, that's what I mentioned by when I receive the message, because my conscious is in the present moment, and it's open-minded. The gateway is open. So when I open my gateway, I receive the information, and that information is also passed telepathically to my subconscious mind, which is the local. Conscious is non-local, okay? So subconscious is like a station, like local station, our body on Earth, right? On Earth. And our conscious is non-local. So it can travel into different dimension, different timelines, different realities, and it can shift. That's why we need to really work on our inner self, our internal, not fight for our external, and stop conflict between your desire and your ego, and your desire and your identity. Let your identity go, let your trauma go, let the thoughts, let the things that does not serve you anymore, let them go. So that way you have a space, you will open your mind, and you open your portal, open this gateway of your consciousness in order to transmit the information to your subconscious, to reprogram your subconscious. That way you can experience the reality that you truly desire, that you truly want to experience. And it all starts from within. And I'll start from changing your mindset, your programming with an open mind. Okay?
Consciousness is intelligent, and we have three different consciousness. Consciousness is non-local. Subconscious is local data station, our body manifestation. And superconscious is the oversoul or higher self. Today, I'm going to have a conversation with you on the 7 levels of consciousness. Consciousness is intelligent. Consciousness is non-local. So that means consciousness can travel into different timeline, different dimensions. When we experience death or crossover, our body, which is subconscious, is actually the conscious that is dying. But the consciousness, which is the non-local consciousness, actually travel into another body, another dimension, or another entity that it continues on. So it never dies. It's timeless. It's formless. And also it's unmanifest. So in order for a consciousness to express itself into a form, it has to go through a entity, like I mentioned, our body. Our body is a local data station that projects our reality into the screen that we experience in this human form. So when we're talking about consciousness has a different level, which means how conscious aligning either with the subconscious or the higher self, which is the superconscious. So the first level is sleep in the programming. What that means is most of the people, 95% of the people in our society today, it's in this stage. Many of them, majority of them, never question anything, and they stay in this first stage, first level. They never question anything. They just follow the daily routine program us to wake up, go to work, consume, and sleep, and repeat. Everyone in this reality, this is what we experience ever since when we born in this reality. Myself, of course, is included. The reason we've been programmed this way is because from the school, from our parents, that it passed down generations, and also the DNA, which stores the memory over the generations, and it passed down. So that is the sleep in the matrix programming. Second level is aware of the program. For my personal example, during 2020, when we have a lockdown, I have this, what I call it, societal awakening, which means I start aware there's something more. I don't have to go to 9 to 5, and there's many different other ways to make income, to generate income from multiple streams. So I start questioning deprogramming, because we get taught to go to school and get a good grade so you can find a good job and you can start a family and then buy big houses, buy nice cars, and consume, right? And work for 40 to 50 years, and then you retire, you relax, you enjoy your retirement, travel the world, and whatnot, right? So that is the matrix programming that we embody ever since when we were young. On this level, second level, that's where people are starting to aware there's something else more. There's a different script, different movie that we can create. So on the third level is called awakening, change of the programming. I started questioning why we have to follow this kind of program, why we follow this path. For myself, I'm always don't feel I fit in ever since I was young. After 2020, when we get out of that subconscious autopilot mode, then the routine change. So when the routine change, there's a space in between that I start to question myself. is this the only path? Is this the things that I want to continue on? So I start awakening and question the society. I heard from many of the 2020 lockdown, they also have that realization, awakening, awareness of there's much more. However, after the lockdown, people goes back to the, we call it quote unquote normal routine, and people start have to worry about paying the bills, worry about many different things in this 3D planes. So many people actually awaken and then fall back to the first level, sleep into the matrix programming. They follow the guideline, wake up, go to work, consume, and sleep and repeat. They fall back in line because the scarcity, the fear that we have in this society from the media that lower our frequency and vibration. So that way we can stay asleep. Many people went through 1, 2, 3, sleep, aware, and awaken during the COVID lockdown, but because due to the fear, due to the consumption of the material world, the food we consume, they fall back to sleep. So that's where number 4 comes from. It's called escape the matrix. When this happens, people usually have a new perspective, and then they start realizing manipulation in our world, in our reality. They start questioning governments, they start questioning religion, even science. As I mentioned, they start seeing the crack in the food consumption, entertainment, and news. This new perspective will change how the person see the world and how they interact with other people. This is the bridge of the spiritual awakening. I experienced this personally when my mom crossed over in 2022. I stay awake from the level 1, 2, 3 through the societal awakening, and I was able to cross that bridge because due to my mom's crossover and to go further down into the journey of spiritual awakening. That being said, this is the level where people, friends, starting to call you crazy or nuts or something else. They not buying to your new perspective, your new observation. Many times you start distant away from these people and you start experiencing loneliness, isolation, and you start feeling a little bit unsure and a little bit not sure who you are. So this is where number 5 comes in. It's called the dark night of the soul. It's the veil, meaning you dissolve your old identity, your old ego. You're escaping the 3D reality and bridging over the 5th dimension. And that is very uncomfortable because you're going to experience a lot of past pushback. You're going to feel emptiness. You're going to feel purposeless, and you don't know who you are anymore. And you start questioning yourself, is this right? You start experiencing a lot of synchronicities. You start expose more and more of, let's say, Mandela effect. You start to shift your timelines, and you just feel, sometimes you also think, are you actually okay? This is the part that it's actually the hardest when you transform into this spiritual awakening and start dissolve everything that you know, dissolve all the traumas, and these trauma will bring it up more than once for you to experience. This is another level of people might going backward because it's very difficult, and it can be very lonely as well. So many people, when they experience this, they're not sure what to do, and they will fall back to maybe level 3. They are still awakened in the program, but due to everything that they fear about, everything that experienced the past pushback, which means There's many different obstacles, many different traumas will will be shown to you, and you will have to use your new perspective, which is level 4, to solve and to surrender. The key word is surrender, because if you not surrender, you will be fighting your reality screen. Okay, this is what I call the leftover from the previous timeline. When you try to get rid of your old self, your ego identity, the ego will want to sustain their existence, so they will push back. They will try to tell you, hey, this is danger. This is not you, so come back. So that's why many people, when they went through this dark night of the soul, they will move back to number 4 or even number 3 just to fit into this matrix programming. Okay, so number 6, once you cross that bridge of the veil, okay, I call it the empty space, just right before your new reality show up and you dissolve the old, number 6 is quantum consciousness. You start realize you are the creator, the observer, and your reality is experiencing through you. What that means is your thought, your emotion, your feelings, it's reflection of your reality. What state of being you're in is what you experience in the external world. So you are creating, imagine your inner world in order to experiencing your outer world. This is where I started discovering quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and the observer effect, the double slip experience comes in, because this is where I understand that we are both a creator and observer. It's just like a movie, okay? We are projecting our reality onto the screen. It's like a projector, and we are at the same time watching that movie. And if you're not careful, if you're not in this level, let's say you are in the sleep number 1 level, then you are participate inside the movie without knowing that you are also creating it, and you are in the character that you don't know you are also the director and the writer and the producer of your own reality. So once you are in this quantum consciousness state number 6, then you basically aware and knowing that you have the power to create your own reality. Number 7, which is the last level, is the mastery manifestation. Once you start understand that you are the creator of your reality, then everything that happens, even the past pushback, like I mentioned on the level 5, you start staying in flow state. Whatever comes, you know it's the past pushback, and you will not get involved or quantum entangled with the reality that you don't want to experience. You ignore them, and you start master this energy, frequency, and vibration. Therefore, everything you experience is through energy. So when a person is in this level, that doesn't mean they will not experiencing other level, because there's different level of conscious expansion. You expand, let's say, to this much, and in order to expand more or additional, after that, you will have to go through I call it the flow state. That's why I say conscious is non-local. So you kind of travel through different timelines, different universe, different reality to master and really go to different level of conscious expansion. So once you are aware of all these 7 levels, even though you might be sometimes going back to number 5, okay, when you are trying to expand to the next expansion, then you will most likely have to kind of
go back to number 5. This is what 2 step back, 1 step forward comes. When you already understand level 7, then you know number 5 is just a pushback. It's just a lesson for you to advance into more expansion of your consciousness. So let me know in the comment which level are you currently in. And if you are in number 1, number 2, or number 3, and you're curious, you want to find out more, you want to experience more, I'm actually starting a quantum consciousness portal on SKool. And I'll put the link in the show note in the YouTube description for you to sign up for free. And the community will be based on this 7 levels. Everyone can join as long as they have an open mindset. Everyone has their own journey. Nobody is better than anyone else, including myself. I am still learning. I oftentimes still go back to number 5 or even number 4 because when every time we quantum jump, quantum leap into a new reality, a new timeline, sometimes we have to switch our perspective, our observation, just like when we are watching a movie. When we are watching a new movie, we have to put a new set of perspective to even express that particular new movie. So once you do that, then you will start number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7 of that particular movie or new timeline, new reality. Okay, I want to thank you all for joining me and watching this video. And let me know what level are you currently in. I'll see you guys on the next one.